Hey, everybody, welcome to the Soccer Sharps, a soccer betting podcast. Jordan, it's the Champions League first leg quarterfinals. 8 teams left, only one can lift the trophy. And boy, are we excited about it. So stick around, baby. We got all the best bets and predictions coming your way. Here we go.
Martial, Herrera, Ibrahimovic! Oh my God, an insane goal! I've just seen the most insane goal I have ever seen on a football pitch. Balotelli,
First leg, Jordan. I'm excited. We got 8 teams remaining. Can't get better than this. I will say this is going to be all Champions League. There is Europa League and Conference League kicking off on Thursday mostly, and we're going to have a separate show for that. So be sure to hit that follow, hit that subscribe button. You can get our Europa League show as well, and make sure you're tuning back in for us because we're going to be doing this, I think, twice a week for the foreseeable future, at least a couple of months here as we head to the Champions League final. We wrap up all the domestic leagues. There's so much soccer, so much action going on, Jordan. I'm excited. How you feeling?
I'm also excited, Dev. Looking forward to this. And you're right, we will be doing 2 a weeks. No, what's 2 a days? Yeah, 2 a weeks for the remainder of the club season. And then we get a little break, and we'll probably be doing 3 a weeks for the World Cup. Maybe it'll just be twice. We'll figure that out. But tons of soccer content coming at you from your boys, the Soccer Sharps. And Dev,
speaking, there he is. Yeah.
there's even more content from the Soccer Sharps, but not from our own channel. Dev, we had the privilege of going on the Ultra World podcast to be interviewed. We talked so much, we ended up having 2 parts to our appearance on that show. So if you're interested, learning more about us and how we got into this whole thing, it was an enjoyable time. We liked doing it. We had a lot of fun over there, and I think it's a pretty good listen, actually. Both parts are available now. You can find Ultra World podcasts on all the podcast platforms, as well as right here on YouTube.
Right on, Jordan. Yeah, it was a great time. Thank you for having us over there, guys. It was fun talking soccer without all the betting stuff. But Jordan, we got a big task at hand here. Okay, we got to deal with these first legs, and I'm gonna tell you right now. I told you I was going to get the card with the futures on it. I didn't do it. So I can just list them here, and I'll tell you, Arsenal are the favorites, plus 250. This is to win the Champions League. Bayern Munich next at plus 333. Barcelona plus 450. PSG plus 500. Real Madrid plus 800. Liverpool plus 9. Atletico Madrid 20-1. Sporting Club de Portugal is 50-1. Anything stand out to you there, Jordan, as I was reading those off?
Not terribly. Just the Real Madrid seems a little too big. This is their competition. I guess the reason that they're that long is because they're facing one of the absolute favorites in Bayern, and most people don't expect them to get past this round, but they've done it before. We've certainly seen them come through some incredible odds and circumstances to end up in the Champions League final. So don't sleep on them. It's Real Madrid.
Yeah, I hear you, George. Speaking of Real Madrid, let's get started there, shall we? Let's dive in. This first matchup, it is Real Madrid hosting Bayern Munich. This one sees Madrid as home dogs. It's not a sentence I say very often. Madrid home dogs here of a quarter of a goal. Total is set at 3.25. And Jordan, the 2 advance out of this tie, we have Madrid plus 162. Bayern, massive odds on favorite. 2 advance out of this tie, minus 225. So yeah, Jordan, I mean, where do we get started? I'll let you take the floor here.
Yeah, and there you have it, those 2 advanced markets explaining why you're getting that big price at 8-1 on Real Madrid to win the Champions League. The bookies don't see him getting through this tie here, Dev. To be honest, I'm not sure I do either. I think you and I talked about, we certainly talked about it on the Ultra World podcast, but I think we've talked about it here too, that we see Bayern going the distance here. Although some things have changed in the last few weeks. Bayern dealing with some injuries, working with a relatively small squad to begin with this season. They don't really have too deep of a bench. And are we seeing some chinks in the armor? It's kind of hard to tell, right? Because they do have such a significant distance in the Bundesliga, so you can't really take those matches with too much importance. So, I mean, this is kind of the show here. This is what they're gunning for. But so are Real Madrid. As I said at the top, this is their competition. And to be getting Real Madrid on the money line at plus 190 at the Bernabeu is just wild. We saw what they just did to City. I mean, they can turn it on to another level when they need to in this competition. By the way, Mbappe's back fit. That's a problem too. The competition's top scorer here. So, Dev, I wasn't going to mess with taking Real Madrid to win it, though. That price is massive. But I said something after the last round, after the round of 16. I was like, you know what? You just can't back these road teams. You got to stick with home teams if you're betting aside, because it really makes such a big difference. And in the first legs, we talked about it a lot. We do tend to see unders, but with certain teams and the way they play, I don't care what leg it is, you're going to see some goals. So I decided to go with a goals angle, but still be pro Real Madrid. I'm going to take that team total, Dev. It's coming in at my favorite price, plus 100. That has actually moved a bit now, but I did lock it in at that price for Real Madrid to score twice at even money at home. I'll take that, especially against a Bayern team who are kind of a good matchup for Real Madrid. They're going to play that high line. Real Madrid's got the pace to get in behind. Bellingham, I think, could be back for this one too. So you got Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Arda Güler. They a problem. So, not to disrespect Bayern, but this is Bayern's away leg. I think going back to Munich is where they're going to do most of their damage. But look, Bayern could score 3 or 4 here. All I need is 2 from the home team.
Yeah, you got to start with goals, I think, looking at this matchup. And I think you're right that Madrid does play. Bayern will play into Madrid's hands a little bit. Madrid are much better on the counter. They're a counter-attacking team almost at heart here. We saw that against City. Look, I don't think Fede Valverde is going to have a first-half hat trick again. But in that game, we saw a similar line. It was actually longer, right? We saw Madrid as double chance at home, underdogs. So the bookies have gotten a little bit wise to this, coming down to just that plus a quarter of a goal. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to have Madrid be a home dog in this competition. So tread lightly if you're taking a side. Of course, I am taking a side, but we're going to get to that. But yeah, for me, it's like Mbappe's going to score. He's definitely going to score if he starts this because his speed, Vinny Jr.'s pace, those two guys are just meant to counterattack. And against Bayern, Bayern's going to dominate possession here. They're going to probe and probe and probe. And the question is, can they take their chances? Look, they rotated a lot on the weekend. They had a miracle comeback win against Freiburg. I was on that game. It was 0-0 at halftime, ended 3-2 to Bayern. 5 goals in the second half. And that's the kind of thing that can pop off. And that was against Freiburg. And they had more chances than that. So Real Madrid's going to have chances. And Bayern will too. You mentioned that maybe Bayern's a little thin on the injury line. I'm actually not really seeing that with Harry Kane aside, because Harry Kane sort of has this ankle tweak, but he didn't play at all in the international break for England. I think they kept him out of the Freiburg match, keeping him for this game. He gonna play. I mean, maybe he doesn't do the 90, right?
But yeah, he came on at the end of the Freiburg match.
Okay, I could, maybe they do that, but I think they're just gonna start him. You got the both of the big strikers in this competition, both favorites to win the Golden Boot here. Mbappe and Kane going head to head. I believe Kane's on 10 goals, and I think Mbappe's like 13. So Mbappe far ahead right now, but that could all change. So speaking of those two guys, Kane score anytime, even money. Mbappe to score at minus 110. I didn't make that one of my official plays, but I've just never felt so strongly about anything. I just can see it. He's going to score. Now, Madrid lost in the weekend in La Liga to a team they should be beating, Mallorca, I want to say. Yeah. And Mbappe had so many chances. Just got him saved. It was Mallorca. And maybe they had one eye on this game. I don't know. But I'm talking a lot about Real Madrid. You did as well. But I do think this Bayern team is historic. I think they're one of the great teams that we're watching here. This team has lost twice across all competitions this season. One loss in the Bundesliga, one loss in the Champions League against Arsenal. They have 4 draws, and all the rest have been wins across those competitions. You can get Bayern Munich. You said you could get Madrid plus 190 on the money line. You can get Bayern Munich, but I saw that to plus 125. So maybe some of that Madrid money is coming in. It's 10 cents different than the card we have here, but Bayern in the money line plus 125. You kidding me? And look, we said both teams are scoring in this. Both teams score yes, minus 250. You tack those together. Now you start cooking. Bayern to win the game with both teams scoring plus 225. You could be a little bit safer. You could say Bayern and over 2.5 plus 162. It's probably dangerous to even take a Bayern to win the game because Madrid are terrifying. But again, I do think this team is special, and I think we're getting a chance here to see them do it. They're favorites to advance, so they're gonna probably, they got to at least get something here. So both teams to score and the money line, that's going to be my official play, Jordan, plus 225. And let's not forget, Real Madrid are missing probably their most key player, or at least one of the most key players, and Thibaut Courtois will be out for this. And how many times have we seen him come up huge in these knockout games without his saves? Maybe Bayern get a couple through there.
Big time. And it's a massive price there, Dev. Massive.
Yeah, huge. It's a risk. It's a risk, of course. But I think this is going to be the best matchup. I'm so excited to watch this. I guess that's all I have to say about it, Jordan. You got any other pieces?
No, let's get to the next match.
Hell yeah. Let's move on, Jordan. We've got Sporting Club de Portugal hosting the Arsenal. This one sees Sporting as home dogs of 3/4 of a goal, and the total set at 2.5. Jordan, Arsenal, their past 2 games, they crashed out of 2 competitions. There's going to be a lot of pressure on them in this one. They got to travel to Portugal. They've been quite good in Lisbon. So what do you think about this matchup? Can Arsenal turn it around?
I think they can. I mean, I think maybe they did it intentionally, Dev. They just didn't want the pressure of everyone talking about a quadruple. Get those domestic cups out of the way. Arteta's already got an FA Cup with Arsenal. This and the Premier League are what they're focused on. And look, they've been excellent in this competition. I don't see any reason why they can't just have a mental reset and go, this is a different thing. We're coming back into this competition where we've been next to perfect. Actually, have they been perfect? Did they win both legs
They
of the
drew
round of 16?
against Leverkusen. So that's their only blemish.
So,
yeah.
Right. But yeah, near perfect. And look, maybe there's a mental thing, right? Maybe it works the opposite way. Man, we just crashed out of 2 cups. One of them was against Southampton, not even a Premier League side. Maybe that has an effect on morale. And then you got to go play an away leg. So maybe it does. I'm not going to take Arsenal to win this match or anything, but I certainly think they can get through this tie. People are talking about what an easy draw they got. It's not that easy, really. Sporting can be tricky. We saw them go down 3-0 on aggregate to Bodo after the first leg, and they turned that tie around and are here again in the next round. So pretty impressive. And they did all that damage at home where they are now for this leg. So it's not that easy. And then most likely Arsenal are going to have to play Barcelona next round. We'll get to their matchup, but so I think that's a little bit overblown that their path is super easier, admittedly. But look, Sporting no slouches, like you said, Deb. They do really good work at home. They score a lot of goals. And because of that, I'm going to go with both teams to score in this one. It says minus 125 on our card here. We got it at I got it at minus 115. Would still totally play it at minus 125 because, look, if Sporting are going to have any chance of advancing, they're going to have to get a goal at least in this first leg at home. And Arsenal, I just think they've got too much talent. We saw Bodo were able to score goals against this Sporting team. Certainly, Arsenal can get one. regardless of whether or not they're on the road here. So, and the elephant in the room is that the stout Arsenal defense has kind of faded here. I don't know if it's a confidence thing, a personnel thing. They have had some issues back there, obviously, with injuries, but they're just not imperious anymore. I don't think, teams are scared of their defense. So I think teams are having a little more of a go at them. We certainly saw that with Southampton. So, yeah, give me both teams to score, minus 115.
Yeah, this has got to be a lineup checker, I think, Jordan. Especially if you're gonna be back in Arsenal, and I should have put up the two advanced numbers here. Arsenal minus 600 to advance, so we know what the bookies think. But check the lineup because there's a lot of weird injury stuff going on. We saw like 11 players recalled from international duty that were Arsenal players. Bukayo Saka is out for this one with an injury. Urian Timber is out. Madueke doubtful. Gabriel is doubtful. Trossard is doubtful. Gabriel Jesus is doubtful. I mean, who's going to play up top? Because Odegaard's been in and out of the lineup with injuries as well. So this is a lineup check if you're going to back the Arsenal, I think. But I'm going to go with sort of where you're at, Jordan. You went both teams to score. I'm just going to go with the over 2.5 here. In the last season of this competition in the quarterfinals, every single first leg went over 2.5. There was at least 3 goals, including Arsenal winning 3-0 against Real Madrid. That was last season. But I think the point being with this format now, like there's not really that much of the cagey first leg thing anymore where you don't want to lose it by giving up an away goal. It just seems like a lot more open. So I think teams can go for it. And if you're sporting and you watched Arsenal playing against Southampton, I mean, a championship team, losing 2-1 in regular time is kind of disgraceful. Let's not forget either, though, that this is the Gyökeres homecoming. Do these guys know how to play against him? Are they going to know how to rile him up? Or is he going to just be like, oh, I know this stadium, and he's going to score a hat trick? Could totally see that happening because he's been in great form. He did come on that FA Cup game and scored Arsenal's only goal. A couple other little interesting player props here. Luis Javier Suarez, who's been a goal-scoring machine for Sporting up top. He's going to be a handful for Gabriel and Saliba in the back line. To score or assist, plus 140. If you think there's going to be some goals, he could be one contributing, absolutely. I liked that price. And, Jordan, I'm just going to have you guess this. What do you think Max Dowman to score or assist is?
What do I think the price is on it?
Yeah.
It would depend on what book you were on, but probably our main book, so he doesn't start, I'm sure.
Max Dowman doesn't start, although Saka's out, and he did play in that FA Cup game and probably looked like one of their best offensive players.
It's true. I would be surprised if he started this one too, though. Just to hurry this up, I'll say plus 300.
Plus 150.
Okay.
Insane. That's a terrible fucking price. Are you kidding me? I don't know if this guy's played a minute of Champions League. He's going to come in and score or assist. He's 10 cents worse than Luis Suarez to score or assist. What are we doing? Anyway, I've just pointed that out. Look, Jordan, I'm on over 2.5 goals in the match. We laid it out for you guys. But let's move on, Jordan, because we got more matchups on Wednesday. And if you guys are watching us live, jump in the chat. Let us know your plays. We know that there's a college basketball final happening. But, we appreciate you guys that are here live. So hop in. Let us know what you think about these matches as we move to Wednesday. And we're taking a look at this matchup that we have seen. This is number 5 of 6 this season. It's Barcelona hosting Atletico Madrid. This one sees Barca as home favorites of a full goal, -1, and the total set at 3.5. Barcelona odds on to win this thing to advance, -275. Atleti, plus 200 to advance from the tie. But, Jordan, what do you think about this matchup that we just saw this weekend?
Yeah, Tev. It's interesting here with some of the lines, right? We did see it this weekend. It was lined at 3.25 for the game total, and I talked about how I was thinking about taking that over. Glad I didn't. Glad I cut the game in half and took first half over 1.5, which did cash at plus money. and has now cashed in 4 straight meetings between these teams, all this season, in all competitions. Um, and now the line is moved a quarter higher. However, I can cut the game in half and still get over 1.5 in the first half at a playable price. Not quite as good. Now it's coming in at even money, but that's where I elected to go with this one. Not saying that I don't think that this gets to 4 goals just because the other one didn't, but it's more than a trend at this point. It's a recognizable pattern in the way these teams are playing and approaching, whether it's a first leg of something, which we've seen, or it's a league match, and we've seen it home and away. So I'm going to run it back, Dev. First half over 1.5 at even money. Come on.
Nice, George. Yeah, good price on that. Glad you cashed it this weekend. I was on the Barcelona money line, which somehow got over the line late on after Atleti went down to 10 men. If you can bet on cards, this might be one. Definitely the second leg at the Metropolitano. I will be delving into that market for that match, but this one too.
Yeah, they both went both went down to 10 men in that in the league over the weekend.
Did they?
I
No,
believe so.
it should have been. It was actually controversial. They almost got the red for Barcelona, but I don't think they rescinded it.
Oh, they rescinded it. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, look, these teams don't care for each other, and familiarity breeds contempt. They know each other well. The guy who got the red card, it was the second yellow. He just could not keep up with Lamine Yamal. He's becoming one of my favorite players to watch, Jordan. I'm getting flashbacks to my favorite player, Ronaldinho. I'm seeing some. Doesn't have the smile and the weird looking face, but magic feet on him. Look, Jordan, you just got to go golds. I'm just going to go with the over 3.5. It's even money. Both teams to score is -200. I think it's coming from both ends. You can tack on that both teams to score. I believe I did for our play at +125. I really looked at that Atletico team total over 1.5, +162. We said it over the weekend. Simeone's going to do something weird. He's going to rotate, and I felt justified because there was no Lookman and no Julian Alvarez in the starting lineup. Their best 2 goal scorers, their best 2 offensive threats for Atletico, and they still had chances. They had a lot of chances before they went down to 10. I think there was like over 3 expected goals in the first half, and that was before they got that second yellow and got sent off. So and that it totally changed the game. But I just think there's going to be chances at both ends. This should be a lot of fun. Hopefully Simeone knows to start those guys, and we're not just going to see like a lone Giovanni Simeone out there.
Play.
Yeah, they gonna play. So I like goals here. I looked at that team total +162, but I do know Barcelona is going to score a couple themselves. So over 3.5 goals at even money. Tack on both teams to score, adds 25 cents, +125 for me, Jordan.
Another big price, Dev. I like what I hear. Let's go.
Big prices. Our final matchup, our final quarterfinal, Jordan, it's Paris Saint-Germain hosting Liverpool. And this one sees Paris as home favorites of 3/4 of a goal. And the total is set at 3.25. PSG to advance out of this tie -200. Liverpool to advance +150. Liverpool, I don't know. Slots on the hot seat. A lot of turmoil over there. Salah missing a penalty over the weekend after they got smashed by Man City. In Paris, they just keep chugging along as they round into form. What do you think about this matchup, Jordan?
This one took me the longest to kind of figure out where I was leaning. Initially, I was like, PSG are going to win this. Money line, -143. Playable price there. Kind of like almost exact same price Man City were at home over the weekend to Liverpool. And in that match, I took Man City to win, but I tacked on under 5.5 goals to get a more playable price. That's exactly what I was thinking of doing here. PSG to win and under 5.5 coming in at -110. And I think that probably cashes. I think PSG should win this leg. But something about Liverpool in the Champions League just freaks me out a little bit. However, they are on the road here. Most of the magic will happen at Anfield if they are to have any. And PSG, has played Liverpool off the park in both legs when they met in the knockouts last season. And it was Slot at the helm then, too. He has talked a lot about how much he loves this PSG team. He's just showered them with praise. And some say that part of his transfer business over the summer was to kind of replicate this PSG team. He went and got the fullbacks, got Kirkez, got Frimpong, guys that are used to playing as wingbacks and can bomb forward, sort of paying homage to this PSG team. Well, it didn't work out. Has not worked out thus far for Slot. So can Liverpool get something from this? I don't know. I don't want to mess with it, but there is a pattern I'm recognizing. We have seen, I know you talked about last season, all the matches went over in this round in the first leg, but at least in the round of 16 for this season, we did see some unders in the first legs. And one of those was Liverpool traveling to Galatasaray, where they lost 1-0, which they also did in the league phase. And then they eviscerated them in the second leg, 4-0. Will that happen here? I don't know. But what I am seeing with Liverpool is that when they go on the road, we tend to see unders, and that's in the league particularly, but a few times in the league phase of the Champions League here, in addition to that knockout game against Galatasaray. There seems, I think it's like a style of play thing with Slot. They want to keep it tight on the road, certainly in the first half. A lot of these first halves are ending scoreless. So I kind of cut the game in half again here, Dev, but I'm going under instead of going over with this one. I'm taking it at the under 1.25 on the Asian total for the first half. That's coming in at even money, my favorite price once again. Maybe there's a goal in the first half. I mean, certainly could be. I mean, if PSG are locked in and Liverpool are shipping goals like they were over the weekend in the FA Cup, that's probably going to crash and burn early. But something tells me
it's gonna be a sweat. I'll tell you that. It's gonna be sweaty
because there will be chances. But something, I don't know. I just have a hunch that the pattern of play, the way this is going to, they're going to feel each other out, and whatever this tactical thing Slot may or may not be doing, but I'm seeing in some of their matches on the road, I'm going to go with it. Go with the hunch here. So under 1.25 on the Asian total for the first half at even money.
Nice, Jordan. Yeah, I do want to clarify that I was saying in the quarters last season, all those first legs went over 2.5. So they may not have gone over the game total. Whereas this one, there was a couple of those that were exactly threes, and that would have been under for this line, right, at 3.25. But I do remember the two legs between these two teams last season, and that first leg at Parc des Princes, this same matchup was just an onslaught by PSG. I think Liverpool had one shot on target. They had like a 0.13 XG in that match. And if you remember, they were just absorbing pressure the whole match, tons of chances. Alisson was man of the match with his saves, or maybe it was Harvey Elliott who got that breakaway, I think in like the 85th minute, scored a goal, they won, and then we turned around to Anfield, and then PSG won that one 1-0, but that had huge XG numbers between them, and then PSG won on penalties. So it was very tight. But I do remember the pattern of play in that first leg just being PSG dominating. And if it is going to be Doué, Kvaratskhelia, and Dembele up top, it's just, God, those guys are terrifying. And Liverpool with their fullback problems, I think it could be a long day at the office for them. Is it Kirkez or Robertson in there at left back? Frimpong, I think, came on the weekend, though it was Joe Gomez who started. That didn't look great. Though I will say, Liverpool, before they gave up the penalty to Man City in that weekend game, they looked okay. They were hanging in there. They were trading blows. But once the penalty was scored, it kind of all went downhill. I just worry about like all the off-field stuff with this Liverpool team. The changes haven't really worked. Slot's on the hot seat. Van Dijk might have lost a step finally. Mo Salah definitely seems like he's lost a step. Now he said he's leaving, so there's like that. I don't know how that affects the play. But I do know that PSG rounding into form should be good to go, and they don't have to worry about Allison in this one because it is going to be Marmadashvili, Allison with an injury. So I don't know. I'm going to go with PSG to win it, though. I'll tell you that. I don't like the 3/4 of a goal because I'm not sure they win by a margin, but I am going to tack on over 2.5 goals in the match. May not be smart based on what we've seen from these two last season, but PSG on the money line and over 2.5 goals is plus 120. Hopefully, Jord, for your bet, all of those goals come in the second half. We get a nice, tidy 2-1 to PSG, all in the second half, and we all cash.
Fair enough, Dev. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll even give you 1 goal in the first half. I'll get a half cash there.
That's very benevolent of you. Thank you. But, Jord, that's going to do it for us, my man. That's all for quarterfinal. First legs broken down for you guys. But before we get out of here, Jord, there's something we got to do.
We do indeed, Dev, because it's one thing to talk about these matches, and it's quite another to put our money where our mouths are and pay the bookie.
Chuck, I'm going to tell you something. You have that fucking 200 in my hands tomorrow. If you ain't got the 200 in my fucking hands tomorrow, I'll break every fucking bone in your body.
Yes, the scary bookie is letting us know he'll break our bones. So here are the official plays. Jord, throwing them up on the screen. We'll read them out for the podcast listeners. I've got a bunch of plus money plays with parlays. Here we go, Jord. It's Bayern Munich on the money line parlayed with both teams to score yes, it's plus 225. Sporting and Arsenal over 2.5 goals in the match, minus 105. Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, both teams to score and over 2.5, plus 125. And PSG on the money line parlayed with over 2.5 at plus 120. I've got an over 2.5 in every single game, Jord. What could go wrong?
That's right, Deb. I've got Real Madrid team total over 1.5 at even money. I've got Sporting and Arsenal both scoring, both teams to score yes at minus 115. In Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, I'm taking first half over 1.5 on the Asian total at even money. And finally, PSG Liverpool first half under 1.25 on the Asian total, also at even money.
Right on, Jordan. That's going to do it for us. If you guys are new to the show, please consider giving us a follow, a like, a subscribe. You can throw a little thumbs up on the video if you're watching it. Goes a long way to helping us out. Costs you nothing. We do really appreciate it. And Jordan, any last words for the people?
Dev, I think, I'll echo what you said. Please drop a thumbs up on the video. Give us that like. As Dev says, it is free. And I actually found out over the weekend, saw something on YouTube that there is a demographic. I don't know if they're too old to be in our audience. They probably are. That didn't realize or don't realize that subscribing is like they think they got to put a credit card on. Like it's a whole thing. So just a lot of people that aren't as savvy about YouTube out there in the world. If you're one of those, it's okay. Hit subscribe. It costs you nothing. You never have to worry about it again. Just helps us out. And everyone who is familiar and knows what we're doing here on the show, manage those bankrolls, people, because these knockouts can be tricky. There's going to be a twist in the tail somewhere, maybe in a lot of these places. So tread lightly, manage those bankrolls, bet responsibly, and most of all, have fun. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money.
Martial. Herrera.